So whenever Spotify, Pandora Radio, or Sirius XM do a survey of their listeners, you can find a variety of answers from people about their favorite music. Usually near the top is classic rock, followed by hip hop and rap, and then most people just like sort of current popular music. But no matter what the survey takers list as their favorite music, invariably you'll often see their final remark about their music taste is, "I like everything but country." This universal scorn that many music fans have for country is probably summarized in the traditional country themes, and I quote, "Ever since my old dog got drunk and died, and Mama went to prison, nothing around the farm has been the same. You know, when Mama broke out of jail last Christmas, it was all so sad. She died when she drove the laundry truck right into a train. Steve Goodman and John Prines, you never ever call me by name." Well, that particular satire of traditional country songs, you know, is a stereotype. Songs about your tractor, your hangover, your cheating wife. The fact of the matter is, current country music may be among the most spiritual songs that you can ever hear on the radio. As a friend of mine once pointed out, in the 1970s, we listened to deep emotions conveyed by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, or Linda Ronstadt. We listened to the narratives of the Eagles or Billy Joel. Songwriters in the 70s like Carole King and James Taylor or Harry Chapin often asked deep questions framed as stories which remained long after the song was over. Where are those songwriters now? Where are the songs that talk about life and death? Those deep emotional songs make us all ask the ultimate questions. Where can you hear those types of songs nowadays? And the answer is, as was pointed out to me, you can only hear those kinds of songs on a country music station that you've been assiduously avoiding. Now, I'm not going to sing any more for you tonight, but I will tell you that I found a couple of country songs. I found a lot, but I'm going to make the sermon not so long. I found a couple of country songs that truly touch on and exemplify Shabbat and the Jewish themes of forgiveness and salvation, the urgency to live life to the fullest before our all too short lives are gone. Country songs that remind us that soon all of us will be gone someday. And what exactly is the legacy that we want to leave our children, our synagogue, our world? As Tim McGraw sang a few years back, I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, and a moment came back that stopped me on a dime. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays and talking about the options and talking about sweet time. I asked the doctor when it sank in, is this might really be the real end? How's it hit you when you get that kind of news? What are you going to do? Thus begins the narrator of Tim McGraw's hit, Live Like You Were Dying. Admittedly, the theme is morose as the narrator realizes that his time on earth might be short. But instead of wallowing in self-pity, Tim McGraw has the narrator of the song remind us of the Jewish teaching that one celebrates life even in the midst of sorrow or pain. The narrator of the song says, I went skydiving. I went Rocky Mountain climbing. I went 2 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter than I gave forgiveness that I'd been denying. And then I said, someday, I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Okay, so maybe you're not the kind of person who plans to go skydiving for your bucket list. But the song reminds us of spirituality and to live each day, as if it were our last. Tim McGraw's song, Live Like You Were Dying, is not some down-home country cornpone that we could satirize. In fact, faced with the ultimate limitations of life, McGraw sings, I was finally the husband that most of the time I wasn't. And I became a friend would like to have. Well, I finally read the good book, and I took a long, hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. That stanza alone expresses themes, down to earth and basic, When he says, I wasn't finally the husband that I was the most time that I was not, I should have been, that's all about us. We should all resolve to be a better spouse than we have been up till now. We say, don't try to change your spouse so much. Try to change yourself. And even if you have been a good spouse, dedicate yourself every Shabbos to being just a little bit better and just a little bit sweeter as a human being. McGraw goes on to write, I became a friend would like to have. Me too, I think to myself. As I get older, I realize that concentrating on friendship is one of the most important things in life. So let us all resolve this Shabbat to take time for one of our two closest friends. There'll come a time when we really need our friends and a time when they will need us too. Restoring and repairing friendships is all about Shabbat, the theme of repairing the torn edges of our own personal and our private lives. Finally, McGraw's song says, I took the time to read the good book. Well, I'm not actually sure McGraw meant that he took my Torah study class. We all know what he means when he says he began to take the Bible seriously. Isn't it a time for us to devote a little time to reading the good book, the Torah and the ancient Jewish teachings, to read the Bible just to make you a little bit deeper as a person and a little bit better as a Jew? And so I recommend my fellow rabbis Torah study on Saturday morning. This is a great way to learn more about what it is to be Jewish. Now, I only had time, a couple more minutes, to look at spirituality in just a couple of country songs. There are so many others. Rascal Flatts, God Bless the Broken Road, so many others that I could have easily deconstructed. But if I had to pick one last country song that had a strong and enduring Shabbat message, how could I not end with Leanne Womack's I Hope You Dance? T.S. Sellers wrote the words of this famous Shabbos song in which the parents bless their children who are now growing up. The song goes, I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leaves you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand by the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you do, when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Judaism tells us to feel a sense of wonder when we confront the universe. Judaism and all the bruchas and blessings remind us to never take one single breath for granted. And as your rabbi, I stand up here on Shabbat and plead with you, please give your faith a fighting chance. In the song, I Hope You Dance, the parent reminds the child of some of life's most important lessons. The song concludes, it says, I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. In closing, let me say, I guess everyone thinks of Shabbat as a solemn, and in some ways, sometimes it's very serious, not so much depressing, but a serious time. But I'm not sure that's the only Jewish interpretation of Shabbat. I believe, like Leanne Womack's song, that when the seriousness of the week hits us, then we truly treasure all that we already have. So I know it may sound strange coming from the Bema. I bless you tonight for this Shabbat with just the words of this one country song. I hope you still feel small when you stand by the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise your rabbi you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Good evening and good Shabbos.